Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy here, Geo, back at it again with your regular BCM content, and today we are finally finishing the three-part series for BCM 325's final digital artifact. In the third and final episode, we are taking a look at the implications of the past and future. In the first episode, we looked into the alternatives to Star Trek's mind-boggling holographic technology, and in episode 2, we learned that there are people in our lifetime trying to replicate that holodeck technology depicted in the series. In case you forgot, the holodeck is capable of making virtual beings come to life. And by come to life, I do mean come to life. To the point where you can see them, touch them, and smell them. They're practically indistinguishable to a real person. So what powers these beings? Well, it's up to the user to program. You can program them to being passerbys, or you can program the holodeck to recreate any person you know given enough information. In Star Trek The Next Generation, Commander LaForge once recreated Dr. Leah Brahms, a professor that was considered a leader in warp field theory, to help solve a problem with the Enterprise's own warp engine problems. LaForge was able to recreate Dr. Brahms thanks to the extensive data Starfleet kept on her. Commander LaForge was engaged in a long-term relationship with Dr. Brahms even after the warp engine crisis was averted. Yeah, he dated a hologram. It's worth noting, however, when the real Dr. Brahms and Commander met, she did feel violated when she found out about the holographic program, which perfectly segues into ethical concerns later down in the video. But for now, let's move on with the AI. In Star Trek Voyager, the show's premise had the crew of the ship Voyager being stranded in the Delta Quadrant, and they had to make their long and arduous journey back home in the Alpha Quadrant. As the ship lost their organic physician, they had no choice but to activate the ship's Emergency Medical Holographic Program, otherwise known as the EMH Mark I. The EMH is meant to be activated only for emergencies, but having since lost the ship's actual doctor, the hologram had to work full-time and became the chief medical officer. Through the years, this AI holographic doctor expanded his program a great deal. He acquired many interests and hobbies, developed close personal friendships with many crew members, and even fell in love. He was capable of showing compassion, loyalty, and gained the respect of the crew members, eventually earning the respect of him as an individual with the same civil and social rights as everyone else on board. This shows that AI is not limited to predetermined programming because it has the capacity to learn and adapt. So this begs the question, would AI programs learn enough to deceive the users of the holodeck into doing dangerous things that might cause severe outcomes like death? If a holodeck can recreate scenarios perfectly to a T, could people simulate a way to commit crimes and practice on committing the perfect crime? In Star Trek Deep Space Nine, they introduced the holosuites, which were smaller versions of the holodeck, and these were built for individuals or smaller groups to use. The Ferengi, one of the alien species in the series, advertised their holosuites to be used for sexual purposes, allowing users to act out their sexual fantasies. Star Trek hardly ever goes into the direction of sex, so not much is really known, but one can imagine you're free to do anything in the holosuite or holodeck, and that does raise potential ethical concerns. Could people perform acts of pedophilia, ghastly murders, or recreate strangers that they had an eye on? Well, I would imagine if we got the holodeck technology in our lifetime, there should be parameters set in place, but there are also hackers in this world, so... But anyways, back in Star Trek, there are many gray areas as they feature an abundance of different species, and with different species comes different beliefs and cultures. Similar to video games, I think holographic tech will raise ethical concerns for years to come, and I think there are a lot of gray areas to tackle. And that's a whole other video. Lastly, I wanted to touch upon cyborgs. Cyborgs do exist in the universe of Star Trek, as there are a race of people called the Borgs, and they are deadly. They will get their hands on any species they can, and assimilate them through the use of nanoprobes, which surgically augment them with cybernetic components. However, we're focusing more on holodecks in this video. And according to McLuhan, all technologies are extensions of our physical and nervous systems to increase power and speed. In the case of the holodeck or the holosuite, you aren't wearing anything that could become an extension of our physical and nervous systems, unless you want to count the technical, if you want to really get into technicalities of touching the surface of the holodeck. However, there was the case of when Neelix, another character from Star Trek Voyager, who had his lungs forcibly removed, and the EMH doctor was able to fashion him a set of holographic lungs temporarily just to survive. However, with those holographic lungs, he was not allowed to move around as computers are not able to compensate any movement. He was not allowed to move until they could somehow retrieve his lungs back or find a donor. That's it for this video, guys. This is the end of the 3-part episode series. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have making it. As usual, leave a like if you liked it, hit subscribe if you want more, and let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. That's it for now. See ya.